Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my son's half-sister 3 days a week after school? My ex cheated on me while I was pregnant, and his affair partner, now wife, and I had babies only a few months apart. My son is older for reference. All custody exchanges were done by family members, my mom and his sister, until our son was old enough to walk from one car to the other on his own. Now he's at that age, so we don't need to be face-to-face. The reason it got to this point was the cheating, and also because my ex and his affair partner asked me to send over baby clothes, bottles, diapers, etc. for their baby when I had purchased them for my son and not their daughter. My ex said they were struggling to afford it, and I made it clear I was not being held responsible for his child with another woman. He told me we could have raised the kids together if I had forgiven him for the affair. Then he called me a stuck-up bitch who acted like being cheated on was the worst thing ever. After that, all communication went through a parenting app. We did not do things together. I did not answer any calls he might have attempted unless our son was with him. Custody is 50-50, so every other week I do need to answer if he calls. Thankfully, he only tried to call for nonsense reasons a couple of times before this. My son is now 9. I have never met his half-sister. He knows that they're related, but she and I are not, and that is something he accepts. Just like he knows they have shared grandparents, their dad's parents, while the other grandparents are just hers or just his. A couple of weeks ago, my ex called while he had our son and asked me to babysit his daughter 3 days a week after school. He said his wife was going back to work and they needed childcare 3 additional days. I told him it would never happen and to never ask me again. But ask again he did, this time via text, and I ignored him. He tried to make the request through the app we use, and I simply replied one time that I had said no when he called, and my answer was still no. His wife tried to call me and then texted me 10 times, saying I needed to be a better mother and put my son first because, even though I hate it, her daughter is my son's half-sister, and they should be allowed to grow up close, being so close in age, and her daughter should be loved and accepted by me. I ignored her texts. My ex has tried to guilt-trip me with how much they've been through because his wife had stillbirths and miscarriages after their daughter. He has tried to force my hand by getting our son to ask me. At one point, he even said he would come over to my house with his daughter, so I could meet her and we could agree to this. I let him know I wasn't going to answer the door if he did this. He even tried to get his attorney to order it. There was brief contact between the attorneys. Mine laughed at his poor attempt to force my hand and told me to continue ignoring him. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Why would you even consider this? Full stop, you need to have more respect for yourself. Your only responsibility is your son. I wouldn't consider it regardless, but I did question if that made me the a-hole, and largely because I have seen similar topics on my social media feeds, and people generally expect you to be one big happy family with an ex, even if they cheated, and to treat all kids like family. It made me wonder if I would be told I'm an a-hole and should suck it up and look after her. Not the a-hole. The miscarriages and stillbirths must have been heartbreaking, but not sure why they are even trying for more kids if they are struggling financially with the ones they have already. Maybe they thought they could force my hand if they had a bunch of kids running around. They seem to be the type of couple who expects people to give them free stuff and take care of things for them. All I know is they could have had 10 kids and my answer would be the same. I'm sorry, what? Your ex who is financially struggling paid a lawyer to force you to babysit? I thought it was crazy too, but then I think his attorney is related to his wife or a friend of hers or something, so maybe they're getting a discount. Not the a-hole. However, I think you need to ask your lawyer to file a motion to have a judge order him to stop harassing you. Also maybe for more custody. If they can't care for their own child 3 times a week and have 50-50 custody, how are they providing child care for your son when they have him? My attorney is aware of all the attempts. We're doing nothing for now, but ignoring and keeping all the texts. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepbrother's wife she's obsessed with me and imagining I want my stepbrother and ruining Thanksgiving in front of my entire family? I am 23 female. My stepbrother is 27 male, and his wife is 27 female. I first met her when I was 20, and this needs some backstory because it has been messy for years. So, backstory. My stepbrother dated his ex, let's call her Lily, for 5 years. Lily became the older sister I never had. We became close. Their relationship ended because my stepbrother cheated, was immature, and financially irresponsible. She left, and I stayed friends with her. I am still really close with her and we post pictures together sometimes, but I do not bring her to family events or talk about her around the family. From the first time I met my stepbrother's now wife, 3 years ago, she was standoffish, hostile, and acting like I was some kind of threat. She watched me the entire night like I was going to flirt with my stepbrother. She still acts like this. For the record, I never have, and I do not think about him that way. Over the years, her obsession with me has escalated. She's made my stepbrother block me on messages multiple times because I text him normal things like asking if he wants to grab lunch or help me move furniture. She has since accused me multiple times of wanting his attention and trying to ruin their relationship. This has put our parents in really awkward positions because she's made this a family issue. And then it started to get even more hostile between us when, 2 years ago, she found out I am still friends with Lily. She claims I am rubbing it in her face and has thrown multiple fits over it, repeatedly accusing me of wanting my stepbrother because of it. And last night was my breaking point or crash out. I brought my new boyfriend to a pre-Thanksgiving with my family because this year, due to blended family stuff, we would not be spending Thanksgiving together. I stepped outside to help my stepdad with something, leaving my boyfriend alone with my stepbrother's wife for literally only a few minutes. When I came back, my boyfriend looked stunned. She had told him I am disrespectful, that I used to have a huge crush, or still might, on my stepbrother, that I've tried to ruin their relationship, and that I am also betraying her by staying friends with Lily. I lost it. I confronted her in front of our entire family. I told her her accusations were false, that her jealousy is creating family problems, and that she is embarrassing not only me, but everyone else. She cried, and then my stepbrother yelled at me for humiliating her. My boyfriend looked shocked, and honestly, I was embarrassed for reaching my tipping point with her. And now our entire family is completely divided. Some think I should not have said anything and that I was crazy for doing it. The others know the truth and think it was long overdue. Am I the a-hole for finally telling my stepbrother's wife that she is obsessed with me and imagining I want my stepbrother and for ruining Thanksgiving in front of my entire family? Not the a-hole. Why would you not have called her out earlier? Seems pathetic not to. If the family is divided, they have some issues. Super creepy that stepbro didn't put a stop to this years ago. When she made him block me, I actually confronted both of them in private. She said the closeness we had made her uncomfortable, which is honestly laughable because I wouldn't even call us close. He ended up unblocking me, and at the time he defended it, saying it was because she was uncomfortable with me being friends with his ex and because she's an only child who doesn't understand sibling dynamics. I am starting to think she is actually super weird based off these comments. You are not the a-hole. My thing would be, moving forward, you need to call her out every single time she says something. He's my brother. What's wrong with you? Do you have an incest kink or something? You keep bringing it up. Seems like someone spends way too much time on the hub. Do you know something I don't? Is my brother calling you by my name in bed or something? Because if not, it is super weird that you keep getting so aggressive with me over my brother. This is something that cannot be left alone, because leaving it alone just feeds their BS. This happened with my cousin, who is a good-looking guy, but he's my cousin. When I went to my uncle's, his father's, funeral, I gave him a lingering hug and said if he needs anything, we're there, and hung around him a bit more. His chick was staring daggers at me and said, that's my boyfriend? I said, well, that's my cousin, and gave a weirded out, kinda disgusted face, which my cousin returned. They didn't last long. Next story. Am I the a-hole for snapping at my husband's best friend after years of inappropriate comments? I, 34 female, have been married to my husband Evan, 36 male, for 6 years. His best friend Connor, 35 male, has been in the picture since college. They've known each other for almost 15 years. Connor has always made me uncomfortable. Since the beginning of my relationship with Evan, he's made these jokes that feel like more than jokes. If Evan ever messes up, I'm next in line. You sure you picked the right best friend? Evan doesn't deserve you. I would never let you out of my sight. Always said with a laugh. Always when Evan is just out of earshot or distracted. Always with his look that makes my skin crawl. I've told Evan about it multiple times over the years. Every time he says Connor is just like that and doesn't mean anything by it, that I'm reading into things, and that Connor is harmless. Last Saturday, we had dinner with Connor and his wife Diane, 33 female. We were at their house. Evan went to the bathroom and Diane was in the kitchen getting dessert. Connor leaned over and said, "You look incredible tonight." Evan's a lucky guy. If you ever get bored of him, you know where to find me. Something in me snapped. I said loudly enough for Diane to hear from the kitchen, "Connor, I need you to stop making comments like that. It's inappropriate. It's been inappropriate for 6 years. I'm married to your best friend, and I don't want to hear one more word about being next in line or what you'd do if I got bored. It's disgusting." Diane came out of the kitchen and asked what happened. Before I could say anything, Connor told her I went crazy and accused him of something he didn't say. Diane started crying and said I humiliated her husband in their own home. Evan came back to chaos, Diane crying, Connor playing victim, me shaking with anger. We left. In the car, Evan was furious. At me. He said I caused drama and embarrassed him in front of his best friend. He said I should have pulled him aside privately instead of making a scene. I've been pulling him aside privately for 6 years. Nothing changed. He never believed me. He never talked to Connor. What exactly was I supposed to do? Now Evan wants me to apologize to Connor and Diane to smooth things over. He says Connor probably didn't mean it that way, and I overreacted. I'm not apologizing for finally defending myself. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, but you said Connor always makes these comments when Evan is just out of earshot. Has Evan ever actually heard him say this stuff directly, or has it always been your word against Connor's? Evan has heard some of the milder stuff. The "if Evan messes up, I'm next" comment was said in front of him once at a barbecue. Evan laughed and said good luck with that, like it was a joke between bros. But the worst stuff, the comments about how I look, the you know where to find me stuff, that's always when Evan isn't right there. Connor is smart about it. He knows what he's doing. Hey, I think you should be even madder at your hubby. How dare he not defend you? You know damn well if his friend ever assaulted you, it would be your fault for not speaking up. But God's forbid you speak up before it gets to that point. And the guy's wife? Only reason she would jump straight to crying and denial before getting the full story from both of you is that he has made a habit of this. Maybe he's even cheated before and they worked through it. Not the a-hole, but you need to put your freaking foot down. Next story. Am I the a-hole for inviting my ex to Thanksgiving? I shared 2 kids plus my first son with my ex. He has been there for my oldest since he was 1. He is all he knows, and he is still there for him. He is still an active dad for him and his bio children too. He isn't perfect. He, like me, has a dysfunctional family, full of addicts and unhealthy coping mechanisms. I adore him as a person and as a friend, but there's no interest otherwise. We make a great co-parenting duo. Where I slack, he strives, and vice versa. Anyway, as I said, our families are dysfunctional. We have always vowed that we would never be like our parents or give our kids an unhealthy upbringing, even if it meant we swallowed our pride at times. This year, I went to my fiancé's brother's Halloween party and allowed my kids to make the choice whether they wanted to come with me or go trick-or-treating. Like most kids would, my children chose candy. My parents said they would take them trick-or-treating, since my mom and dad were home passing out candy anyway, and it was no big deal. Side note, my mom and stepdad or dad are my only stable family, and they became his too. He can still call my mom with stuff, and I stay out of it, because I know I'm lucky to at least have her, and honestly, I'm grateful he can call our son's grandma with stuff. My ex wanted to stop by and see the boys at my parents'. Again, I wasn't there, but they know he doesn't have anywhere to go usually. It wasn't a big deal, but my fiancé was annoyed. Which I do understand from his point of view. I'd probably be upset if his ex was at his parents' and not me. But the difference is, We were welcome to come first, and I think my kids deserve to have a parent there. Anyway, now it's about to be Thanksgiving. My fiancé won't be there, work, and he has no plans on his end that I'm aware of. I usually go to my bio dad's side, but without going into too much detail, I will no longer be going there. It's already a hard year for me because of that. My mom also doesn't have a lot of family, and after talking, we decided we want to break the cycle. We will have something small every year for my kids there with us, so that they have something surrounded by love. My fiancé made no attempt to make sure I had somewhere to go, at all. He didn't ask about it, only informed me he wouldn't be off when I asked. My son's father has nowhere to go either. Again, I'm lucky enough to have my mom and stepfather. He has no one. Would I be the a-hole for allowing him to pop in and see our boys on Thanksgiving, being as I will have them every year for the foreseeable future since he has nowhere to go? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd rather suck it up. And my boys see that no matter what, we were there for them. And I know he can't provide that, but I don't want him to be any less included as a father, because he doesn't have that. Am I the a-hole for allowing him, who like me has nowhere to go, to come to my family's small Thanksgiving for our children? There's nothing better for kids to see than their parents getting along. This is especially true when the parents are no longer together. I was neighbors with a divorced mom. Every Mother's Day, I heard her ex hyping up their kids outside to compete on who loved mom more. Happened for the 3 years we both lived in that complex. Co-parents getting along is what it really looks like when you're doing it for the kids. Not the a-hole, at all. My husband's parents were divorced when he was a teenager. When I met him years later, they were able to spend all holidays together with their kids, grandkids, and the mother's new husband. I never saw such a healthy co-parenting relationship. It is healthy for the kids to all get along. My question to you is, why are you engaged to someone who doesn't care if you have somewhere to spend Thanksgiving or not? Do you really want to marry someone that has a problem with the father of your children being with them on holidays? It is kind to care about the mental well-being of the father of your children for your children, especially around the holidays. Your ex having a continuing relationship with your parents when he has no one else is going to benefit your children. You really need to explore why your fiancé has such a problem with this, because the father of your children will be in your life for the rest of your life. He should understand you need to do what is in the best interest of your children, and as your fiancé, be proud of you for being mature enough to do this for your kids. Please go to premarital counseling and make sure your fiancé isn't going to make this a problem going forward.